So my name is Paul. Currently, I'm living in New York for the last 21 years in the community there. And on my day job, I work as a network engineer. I run a company, a system security integration company in New York City. My colleagues, my friends, they find out through my actions, they try to figure out who you are because you're not married. So they realize I don't have kids. I suppose my best definition is that I'm a modern day monk. I practice my fellowship and my ministry by being outside in the world. So I have a normal job, but at the same time, I live as like a monk. I guess a modern day monk where my monastery is the apartment or the workplace where I work. Focolare is a part of the Focolare movement, an ecclesial lay movement in the born in the Catholic Church. I'm a vowed consecrated member wherein I have the vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. We live in normal houses. We don't live in a convent. Again, our vocation is to be there out in the world. I remember when I was graduating in Los Angeles, in California, I was 22. And back then, to have 2 credit cards, 2 bank accounts, I had 2 girlfriends, I had pretty much 2 of everything. And in front of me were 2 lives also. One was staying in California, where I had a very beautiful family, very beautiful community, and also prospect. But I felt that God told me, Paul, come on, there's more to that. Come and follow me. And I felt that was a more challenging part, more adventurous. Of course, I was naive back then. I was 22. But somehow there was something inside of me that told me, give your life to me and I will make it an adventure. Of course, there's many ways of giving your life to God. There's becoming a priest, becoming married, becoming one of the many religious orders. However, I felt that after looking around, I felt that God was calling me to give my life to God, but staying as a lay person. I could be a consecrated person, living, working like everyone else, but giving God to my co-workers, my friends, as if I'm a priest. The same way that the apostles gave the gospel to the world, I felt that there were many other followers, especially Mary. Mary, who at the background gave Jesus to the world. I said that was the most exciting way to do it. I was in New York, and again, I was discerning this moment. And I remember I was in a retreat place up in Hyde Park. And that night, there was a big snowstorm. And then the next morning, all I saw was, have you seen, a field just filled with white snow, completely white snow. And I know the place. I know the place was full of dust of unfinished business because it was in the woods. It looked ugly, but with the snow, it really covered and became very pure. And there, I felt like Mary was telling me, "I will make you pure. Come, follow me. Don't worry about all your deficiencies, your shortcomings, all your inefficiencies, and all your doubts. My love will you, my mantle will cover you like the snow, and you will be pure like the snow." And with that, I says, well, Mary, if you're gonna cover me with that mantle, then I'll come and follow, and I'll follow your son. So just before I was about to start my formation, the official formation to become a vowed consecrated member, I was involved in an accident where I was burnt. My face was burnt. I had 3rd-degree burns that I didn't know how bad I was until on the 3rd day, when I was finally able to get out of the bed, I saw myself in the mirror. in the mirror reflected a monster. I saw, you could imagine my face with no hair, all medication, you could see only the eyeballs, pink, black, really grotesque looking. It's like one of those movies where and there a conversation with me and God came. I told him, you know, God, Jesus, you didn't give me great looks to begin with in life. But now, even that look, that little look I have, you took away. I could remain like this forever. I cannot go anymore and do the formation. I cannot be a Focolarino anymore. I cannot give my life to him like this. I cannot get a job. I cannot give anything to God anymore. I said, I don't have anything to offer to you anymore, humanly. But I felt that he still loved me. I felt that unconditional love to say, as if he was telling me, Paul, I have asked you to follow me not because you could get a good job, now that you not because you're gonna be a Focolarino. I just asked and called you, independent of what you could give me, this unconditional love. At that moment, I realized I am free. God is leaving me free. And because of that, I will follow you. And in 11 days, incredibly enough, my skin started to heal. People were so amazed. The doctors, especially, this is a specialist burn care unit, where it's a 3rd-degree burn, you need to do all kinds of skin grafting. After 3 or 4 days, they saw that my skin started to grow. And 2 weeks later, I started the School of Formation to the Focolare. At one moment, I was asked to speak at the United Nations when they were dealing about how to reduce poverty in the whole world. And for some sort of circumstances, I was asked to share about the private sector, how it could help mitigate the rich and the poor. And so of course I said, who am I to talk to the United Nations? And I remember before that, I went to our local church. I went there and I looked at the cross, at Jesus being there, the crucified. And with all honesty and with all almost a visceral feeling, I told him, you are the only reason I'm doing this. You're the only reason. There's no other reason why I would go to the United Nations to speak on this. I'm both humbled and honored to be part of this panel. And I'd like to present to you, I want to talk about an economy of communion business, another model in the private sector. In the economy of communion, or I call it EOC to make it short, entrepreneurs, workers, directors, consumers, scholars, the poor, and families all work together to eradicate poverty. It was launched by Kara Lubick, the founder of the Focolare movement and New Humanity, in May of 1991. I did this speech. I think it was very successful. Everyone was very happy. But my only desire after that was to go back to that same church to tell him again, you, O Lord, are my only good. So the question of who is God for me? God for me is my only good, whether in good times and in bad times. Since I have started a company, I'm the shareholder, all that profit comes to me. And yet, whether I earn $10,000 or $1 or $1 million, to me it's almost irrelevant, because whatever I bring in, whatever income, to me, we treat that as providence. For us, our vow of poverty is that we give everything to the community, like the first Christians. So like also in a family, whoever works, it's not like they keep it to themselves and then maybe give 10% or 20% to the family. So for us too, who are living this life, as if we want to be a family, any income that we receive or inheritance that we receive, we put that on commons. So I get that money and I donate it and I give it back to the community. By being poor, by not being attached of what you make or what you don't make, to me is the greatest wealth in the world. I'm living with three folks that are completely different with me. Right? So one is Swiss, the other one is German, the other one is from Chicago, and myself. There's always novelties. There's always something to find from each other. It's dynamic. Sometimes there's a lot of confusion because also in different cultures you may mean one thing and then that is misinterpreted and lost in translation. So there are conflicts in the community, but there's also a lot of laughter, but mostly a lot of learning. I've learned so much. I've learned so much from every community, every person that I live with in the different houses I've lived with, because each one is different. And in each one, I've learned a lot, and I hope that I have given a lot also, so that I am a reflection of all the people that I have lived with. Focolare is that fireplace where you could huddle up and share your joys and your sorrows, despite all the things that are happening out there, to get the warmth from each other. I am satisfied. If God would take my life now, I says, great. I'm happy. I feel like I don't need to accomplish anything anymore. I feel like everything that I wanted to accomplish has been there. So there's not a sense of, oh, I gotta hit my bucket list. So any day that I live now is extra life, extra moment that I live for. Whether in the morning, in the afternoon, in good times, in bad times, in boring times, in exciting times, my mantra always comes to me when I said, you, O Lord, are my only good.
Thank you, Paul. Is there anything else you want to add about your story, about your vocation, anything else you want to say?
Just grateful for this life.